My internet's been acting up. We did a whole Jeopardy thing, and you got to hear me read out loud. But we're not going to be able to use any of that content, unfortunately, because the video is messed up. So that's fortunate enough for me that you don't have to listen to me read out loud. But we decided we're going to switch to the
It's fine.
team
We were
one.
pretty dumb, so
Cole's going to read them now, and let's see how well he reads out loud. Actually, I probably could start.
yeah,
it
we
at
got
the
like
same
2 seconds. All right, here we go. Shakespeare. Shakespeare
Okay.
called this couple a pair of star-crossed lovers.
Cool. All right. Well, I don't know how this intro is going to be beginning, but there's just going to be technical difficulties.
But we're playing Jeopardy, so
But we're playing Jeopardy, yeah. You can play along as we go.
Playing the
See how many
team
you can
version.
get right. Yeah. No adults here.
because we're
Just
dumb.
the team
We tried it. Depending on what you all have heard, we tried the adult version, and we're just dumb. So
Depending on how
Shakespeare.
All right, let's do it.
Shakespeare called this couple a pair of star-crossed lovers.
Romeo and Juliet.
You nailed it. I don't know if that's right. I assume it's right.
Sounds right.
Thumper is this title Disney character's best friend.
It's the rabbit Thumper. I don't know the best friend.
Is it Dumbo?
Sure.
Uh-oh. Anatomy. The olfactory nerves affect this sense in the brain.
I should know this, but I don't.
I think it's smell.
Smell? Yeah.
Bodies of water. This colorful body of water separates Saudi Arabia from Africa. You got it, Brandon? You good at geography?
No, I'm terrible. It's like history and geography, no clue.
It's the
Aegean?
Red Sea.
Red Sea. It's colorful. It's red.
Yeah. The bowler and the fez are both types of these.
I had no clue.
Fez is a hat, so sure.
There you go. Okay, yeah, hat. Nice.
King Henry VIII married this many Catherines. Sorry, I didn't say the category.
Oh, that's fine. I don't. No clue. 3.
Pick a number. I don't think that's right, but we're going to
Maybe
go
high. Yeah. 2.
Harry Potter. It's the only mythological animal mentioned in a Harry Potter book title.
Oh no.
Oh, Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Dude,
Okay.
I'm killing it. I'm killing this right now. Food. In the South, hominy, when ground, is more popularly known as this.
Hominy.
Hominy.
Hummus.
When
I don't
ground
know.
up.
I have no clue.
All right, we'll guess hummus.
I don't think that's right at all. It's definitely
I don't
not
think
right.
that's right.
Hominy. Hummus. Yeah.
Historic women. She made her solo flight across the Atlantic in 1932 in a record time of 14 hours and 56 minutes.
If you said her name, I could tell you, but I have no clue.
Oh my God. I think it's Amelia Earhart.
There you go.
I don't know how to say it though. Dude, smile and say cheese for this picture. Perfect company whose stock symbol is EKDKQ. Stock symbol is the category.
EK.
Canon, maybe? I don't know. Oh, I didn't get to answer. All right. Before and after. King Arthur's special piece of furniture used at the beginning of a book to list what's inside. So it's 2 different things. So before and after, which I don't know. Next, capital cities. This capital of New Zealand is the southernmost capital in the world. Do you know the capital of New Zealand?
I don't.
Neither do I. I think it's like something with like sheep, maybe.
I'm better at multiple choice
Shepherdsville?
questions.
Shepherdsville. Yeah, that makes sense. Pop culture. In 2012, Psy got the record for most YouTube videos ever, passing this former record holder.
PewDiePie.
It would be Justin. No, it's probably PewDiePie, but whatever. I put Justin Bieber. This Alice in Wonderland character was shouting off with his head.
No clue.
I don't know Alice in Wonderland either, so.
No. I've got like none of these.
South Africa. This was the term for the official policy or racial segregation in South Africa until 1994. I have no idea.
No clue.
That feels bad. I feel like I should know that. Next, animals. Foxes, wolves, jackals all belong to this family of mammals. You got this one? I feel like you should get this one. I don't know why.
I mean, they're mammals. I don't subcategories of mammals. I'm not
Nocturnal. I don't know. That's not a thing. Oh, didn't get to type. The Bible. This book of the Bible recounts the departure of the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt.
Don't know.
We'll put like Numbers. It's a fun Bible book. Okay, around the house. Tide detergent makes a version plus this whitening substance.
Bleach.
That's what I put. Okay, cliches. You're on the money if you know a car with good brakes will stop on one of these.
Dime. Hey, I got that one. That was such
Hey,
an easy one. That was.
literary characters. This inspector mercilessly pursues Jean Valjean in Les Miserables.
I haven't seen it.
I don't know the story well enough, but I do know that Hugh Jackman plays this character. No, he's Jean Valjean. Anyways, U.S. vice presidents. One of these two vice presidents who served under the first president ever to resign from office.
Don't know. Dude, I am terrible. I didn't go back to school.
This is tough, man. Next, state mottos. Yeah. The U.S. state is the land of enchantment. This U.S. state.
The land of enchantment.
You got any guesses?
Hawaii.
Hawaii. I don't think that's right, but we'll see.
It's not.
The theater. Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf? Not the author of the play. This author of the play.
No clue.
All right. Next, weather. In 1979, Bob was the first one of these to be given a male name.
What?
Weather. It's a hurricane.
Oh, okay. That's okay. B, Bob.
National parks. There are alligators in this 1.5 million square mile national park authorized in 1934. I think it's the Everglades.
Somewhere in Florida.
2013 sports. American teen Sloane Stephens upsets the older U.S. female star at the Australian Open.
Tennis.
The only tennis player coming to mind is Caroline Wozniak. I didn't even get to type it in, and she is not American. Authors. Red Rain is a 2012 novel for adults by this man who scarred kids with the Fear Street books.
Stephen King. No clue.
No idea. Okay. Subatomic particles. With no electric charge, it's one of the fundamental particles making up an atom's nucleus. You got this one? I got this
electron, neutron.
Yeah. Yeah. Holidays and observances. This holiday was first observed under its current name on November 11th, 1954.
No clue. Thanksgiving.
Veterans Day. Ancient history. Last one. In the 400s BC, King Darius and Xerxes of this empire both were turned back trying to invade Greece.
I should know that. I just watched a thing on 300 the other day. Xerxes, Roman Empire. I don't know.
I think it's Rome. All right. Close now to see our answers.
Terrible.
I hope you all did way better than we did.
I did terrible. You answered most. Any of the ones that got answered.
Okay. Romeo and Juliet. Boom.
Get that one.
Bambi.
Oh,
Disney
okay.
One.
Okay.
Okay. Smell.
Mm-hmm.
Red Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Hats. 3. You nailed it.
Boom. That's right.
With King Henry. Phoenix. Hominy when ground is grits.
Okay.
Probably should have gotten that one. Amelia Earhart. Did I spell it right? Nope. That's okay.
That's a hard one.
Okay. Smile and say cheese for this symbol was Kodak. Yeah. Oh. Okay. King Arthur's special piece of furniture.
The round table.
Yep.
Yeah.
At the beginning of a book to list what's inside. What is a round table of contents? Table of contents. So it like combines it. Yeah. Before and after. Okay. New Zealand capital, Wellington.
Wouldn't have got that.
Nailed it. 2012, the most YouTube views ever. Justin Bieber. Before Psy. Nailed it. Okay.
Oh, before Psy, like the Gangnam Style guy.
Gangnam Style. Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
I think it was Baby. Justin Bieber's Baby that had the most views.
Probably.
Anyways, Alice in Wonderland character, the Queen of Hearts.
I was going to say the king or queen initially, actually.
I actually got the South Africa one. The official policy was apartheid,
Mm.
which I just kind of typed that in randomly. Okay, foxes, wolves, and jackals are all canines. We definitely could have gotten that one.
Yeah.
Book of the Bible, departure of Israelites out of Egypt was Exodus. Probably should have gotten that one too. Bleach, nice. Dime, nice. Those are you.
Those are me. Yeah, I got those.
Javert is the inspector, or Yavert. I don't know. Javert, Yavert. The president's one, or the vice president's, was Spiro Agnew or Gerald Ford. Wasn't going to get that one.
No.
Land of Enchantment was New Mexico, not Hawaii.
Land
Who's
of
Afraid of
Enchantment.
Virginia Woolf is Edward Albee.
Nope.
I got Hurricanes right. I got Everglades. Serena Williams. Dude, we could have gotten that one.
I just said tennis because I really didn't hear what you said. And I was just
should have
like,
gotten that
tennis. Yeah.
one. R.L. Stein for the Fear Street books.
R.L. Stein. Okay. I've heard the name before, but
that person did Goosebumps too.
okay.
Okay, we got Neutron right. We got Veterans Day right. And then Persian Empire.
Yeah. There was a 300 thing I was listening to.
Honestly, not that bad. I feel like that's not that bad.
It's not terrible.
Could have been better. Could have been worse. Okay. Now that we've determined we're stupid, what's next?
Oh, I actually, from some of those questions, it gave me a couple of ideas.
Okay.
Actually, the Serena Williams one is. I saw this yesterday. I can't remember his first name. McElroy, the tennis player. Do you know what I'm talking about? He used to play. I'm not saying his name.
First,
correctly.
I thought you were saying Macklemore.
No.
And then I thought you were saying Rory McIlroy, the
No.
golfer. But McIntyre.
McIntyre.
I think it's McIntyre, right?
I can't think of his. Yeah, it's somewhere around there, but it doesn't matter. There was he was having an interview. They were doing an interview, and he broke down.
Is it McIntyre? McEnroe.
McEnroe. Okay.
McEnroe. That's it. All right.
They were doing an interview of just asking him about, I guess, Serena, and he says Serena is the greatest tennis player of all time, like girls.
Yeah.
And then he went on to say, I think it was 500. It was like 500 or 700. That if she played against boys, she played in like the men's league, she would be like 500 in the world, like ranked.
Yeah.
And the people interviewing him got all upset about it and like, do you want to change that? And then Serena was on a late night, and this is probably old news, a late night show, and she said the same thing. She was like,
I
couldn't
remember
even,
this.
Yeah. She's like, I couldn't even compete. They hit it harder, they move faster. And it was just funny because people were so upset for Serena in that thing. And then Serena was like, no, it's kind of true.
That's a tough thing because I think it depends on the way that you present it too. Like, I haven't seen his side of the interview. I have seen hers though. But like, if you present it in a way that it's like trying to downplay her talent,
right,
then that's not good. You shouldn't do that.
But he initially said, sorry, not as good.
Exactly.
He was like, she's the greatest tennis player of all time. Like, yeah.
And so I think it's more of just really emphasizing the differences in skill, and not even necessarily that like men or women are like worse or better. It's just like there's different levels to it, like she's clearly the greatest women's tennis player, and I think she might be more accomplished than most men, which is obviously saying something to her skill level,
Yeah, she's crazy. And then was it Caitlin Clark?
Dude, I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah.
So did you get to watch any of the Iowa LSU game?
Of course, I watched the highlights in hindsight on TikTok, but yeah, dude.
I watched the fourth quarter. I didn't know it was on that day, and then I saw like some TikToks while I was scrolling that like the game was happening, so I turned it on. And man, it was so crazy. I wish I turned it on earlier, but it was unreal.
Well, she play UConn right this weekend.
Yeah, that one's gonna be big. I'm tuning in for that one. That one's tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow? Okay, so it is tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow's Friday. Okay. Yeah, I saw the highlights and then the kind of the parody videos of. It's so funny. My favorite one was a guy was playing against someone else, and they're kind of like joking around and just showing how she's like throws the ball up, and there's and then he's like playing really hard defense on her, or there's like a guy on a guy. He's acting
Yeah.
like her, and the ball just like disappears. Like, where'd the ball go? And then it's like in the net.
It's in the hoop.
It's like, how do you defend it? Well, then the
Yeah,
LSU
dude.
players' reactions, they're just shaking their head.
Well, yeah.
What do we do?
'Cause you can't defend that. So I saw this TikTok after the game. So the game generated 12.3 million viewers for an Elite Eight game, first of all. So it's not even the Final Four. It's not the semifinal. It's like 2 or 3 games away from the championship. That was more than every NBA game last season, except for game 5 of the finals. That was more than every college football game last season, except for the college football playoffs, Ohio State, Michigan, and the SEC championship. And that was more than every MLB game for the entire season.
Yeah, well, I wonder
which is so hype, you know?
I wonder what the finals is going to be. I mean,
I agree. Well, the reason this one was also more heavily watched because it was a finals rematch from last year.
Yeah.
And because, I mean, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, people were watching for Haley Van Lith, but she kind of disappeared in that game. So,
yeah. No, the highlights of that were wild. Well, apparently, I think it was Caitlin Clark. She wanted to go to UConn, but UConn didn't take her. They didn't want her.
Really?
That was her dream school. Yeah. I think one of my, we were talking about the game yesterday, and he was saying, yeah, she wanted to go to UConn, and then didn't pick her up. Well, it's kind of the same guy. Who was the game? It was the Purdue game. Did you watch the Purdue versus, who were they playing? But that guy,
Zach Edey.
Yeah. He's an animal.
Yeah, he is a monster. People are kind of talking about how his skill set will or won't transfer to the NBA, though, which is kind of interesting. Like, they feel like it's very college and not so much NBA, which I think is an interesting discourse. You know?
Yeah, I watched that game for maybe a quarter on Easter, and when I watched it, I mean, he literally just stands, posts up, puts his arms up, all right, throw me the ball, and then just turns and just a little lob shot.
Well, and that's why people are saying he might not translate well to the NBA, because he's such a traditional big, where he has the post up and then he goes in. But I don't think that's necessarily true.
Yeah, I mean, he can shoot too. It was actually the entry to Barrett. I wonder which more challenging. The entry to Barrett to be a professional basketball athlete, because now the guys are 7-footers and they're playing
skilled too,
and they're playing like they're 6'6", and then is that harder, or is it to be in Formula One racing because you have to have enough money to get into it? What's the harder entry of barrier of those two sports?
So now you're just talking about like privilege versus just like innate ability, and size.
Yeah, it could be a dark rabbit hole in that conversation, but the entry to barrier,
man. That's interesting.
Because if you're not tall enough, those guys are 7 feet and they can just move. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, I don't know. I like how I've slowly turned this into a basketball podcast.
Well, I've
made you talk about basketball, and now you just willingly talk about it. And it's
I mean, March Madness is going on too.
True.
And March Madness,
NC State, man.
And then, did you watch the Sunshine videos? I don't even know. Did you watch the LeBron thing I sent you?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Okay,
they're great.
Is the story because of the one kid, or is it because of something else?
I don't know already what you're saying. It's just a trend that happened in my mind. It's just a thing, man. I don't know how else to describe it, except everyone is just like being a big fan of LeBron.
Okay.
For whatever reason.
Because if you don't know, I don't know what game was it. It was recently. It doesn't really matter. They just LeBron put up 40 points, and the entire stadium just started singing "You Are My Sunshine."
Yeah, but the "You Are My Sunshine" came before the 40 points, though.
Okay.
It's just been a trend on TikTok, and so the way it started was like, it's a random video, and then it cuts to him in like surrounded by light, and it's just this like, "You are my sunshine." It's this really almost ominous version of the song, and it just goes on for 3 minutes. Yeah. That's the trend. That's the whole trend. And so Lakers fans probably have seen it, and then they were like, "We're gonna do this in the game."
Here's the other part about that is
so funny, dude. I didn't see that.
I've kind of slowly gone down the rabbit. Well, I sent you the TikToks.
Well, yeah.
I slowly gone down this rabbit hole of the explanation of why it is. And there was some kid that was like he's like screaming at the video, and he's like, I didn't want my page to do this, whatever. I didn't mean to do this to LeBron. But and on one end of the spectrum, it's like a really positive thing. It's cool, like everyone's being fans of
Yeah,
LeBron.
it's just
And then
goofy.
there's another direction that
Oh,
people
yeah.
are starting to say, and I'm like, okay, I don't even know if I should bring up some of the podcast, but I won't bring up that specifically. But right now, what I believe it is, it's just people being big fans of LeBron, and it's a
That's
cool
all it
trend because
is.
it's positive.
That's all it is. It's an extension too of the we done with the 90s trend that we talked about before, where I think we talked about this, where they were bringing up clips of 90s basketball and showing how trash it is compared to
Yeah.
now, which I mean, there's some merit to it, but there also isn't. So, anyways, it's just an extension of that. And then LeBron's fans being over the top per usual. I'm a LeBron fan, so
Yeah.
I guess I'm a part of the trend.
Yeah, I think it's so funny. Just singing a song, he just stands there. They're just laughing about it. But you could also on those videos too. You could also just edit that over top of it, and so
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it was someone was like, "Oh, it's just an April Fool's joke." Like that actually didn't happen. That was the other one I saw. I was like, "All right, where do we go with this?" Yeah,
Interesting. That's
that
weird.
someone just
That's weird,
recorded
man.
and then put it over and said the whole stadium was singing it, but they actually weren't. All right,
Yeah, that's weird.
it's kind of cool.
Anyways, that was our basketball segment. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. You won't see this until tomorrow, but we will talk about the UConn Iowa game next time.
Yeah,
Maybe the championship game. But it should be interesting. So go look up highlights.
yeah, they're going to be everywhere. It's immediately on TikTok. I mean, you literally say you saw a TikTok about the game while the game was on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is insane. It's like this is where the
It's
world
because she was going crazy, dude. She dropped like 40 points or something.
I think it was like 41. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild. That's crazy. All right, what topics did you have? I have
Wake
one
up,
other
man.
one. Yeah, dude, I'm so tired right now.
And you didn't even have your 5 a.m., dude.
Yeah.
You're crazy. Okay. So someone else talked to me about audiobooks and they were like, dude, you got to try. And I said, okay. So I finally gave in to the audiobook trend. Do you know Spotify just offers books for free?
Did not know that.
Yeah. Not all of them, not all, but they have like books that are included with premium.
Huh.
So I've been reading listening to The Silent Patient. I'm 85% done with the book in the last 3 days.
Yeah.
It's just so nice. I put it on and it's going, and if I miss a section, I'll go back, if I'm just doing something else, but it's really nice. And I feel like I'm learning, but I'm not, I'm not forcing myself to read.
Yeah. And the audiobook, it's just like a podcast. I mean, how often? I mean,
and there's like good voice actors in it. So he's doing like the accents, he's doing the inflections of the dialogue, he's changing accents for every character. So it's kind of nice.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's different versions of different audiobooks of sometimes you just have one person and they just like on Audible, some of the books that I kind of previewed, it's just the same monotone voice.
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could do that.
No way. But the graphic audio, the one that I've been using and listening to, they have a full set of actors that play each character. There's sound effect. Dude, it's nice.
Spotify has that.
Okay.
They don't really have sound effects. They kind of introed with some sound effects at the very beginning of the book, but then after that, it's been just this one guy and one woman that does it too. So, which is nice.
I think it'll be. It's just. I think that'll keep growing for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Graphic audio is. They're already coming out with. They're already hitting some of the bigger books that are some of the fantasy books that I listen to on there, and they're about to do the next set of them, and it's really nice to just listen.
I think it's just an extension of podcasts, but you're just taking actual information and making it audio. I'm really interested to see how nonfiction adapts to it, especially books that are about like serious topics and I'm not talking about like biographies or autobiographies, but like, books about history or politics or religion or whatever, and seeing if that would also be as interesting with a voice actor, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I would. I want to be a voice actor. I could do a book. I would. That would be a lot of
You
fun.
should, dude. You should definitely try.
I
You
would.
have you have a good setup. You have a good mic. You know, you could just record some audio samples of you saying stuff,
I
send them
actually.
in, see what happens.
I have a. It's the.
You just
I
can't read, so that's a little tough.
Yeah, it makes it challenging for sure. But if I have enough time, I mean, I think I can do it. Something I haven't released it yet. It's kind of not that it's super personal, but it's the whole duck story that I finally come to like the resolution on like what it's going to be for the gym. I did the audio, so I wrote a script. I think the script was 9 pages long,
Wow.
and then I got on and just I got on this actually by myself and read the script with inflection and like actually went through and did it. It took me, I think it was 30 minutes to read the
Yeah.
whole thing. And then
Yeah.
it got edited down to 15 minutes of just me perfectly.
Mhm.
I'll release it next week, but it's just audio.
Oh,
And
that's
it was
nice.
fun to do it, but it got challenging because you're reading a script and I'm trying to make sure you do
It's
with
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm excited to watch.
It's 15 minutes long. It'll come out next week. It's
I'll watch.
the ending of it. It's a good story. And there's music in the background. So I kind of
Oh, that's
base it
cool.
off. Yeah, there's the entire time there's just subtle music and it changes from like each section of the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's I put some time into it. It's nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so I've discovered audiobooks, which is I guess interesting. I don't know. It's not new, but it's definitely new to me. All right. And the next thing I have one more thing. Until the end, I have a fitness question.
Okay.
Okay. When you replace your toilet paper on the toilet paper holder, which direction is the toilet paper coming? In the front or in the back?
I mean, it's definitely supposed to go over the top. I think this has actually been even answered by Mythbusters.
But why?
I think they've
Why does
answered
it
it.
matter? Why
It
does it
matters
matter?
because you waste less toilet paper. I think that was part of it.
If you go in the front?
Yeah, because there's not as much coming around, so you'll just
Mhm.
you'll grip it better.
What do you do instinctively?
What do you mean?
Do you like make sure that it's in the front?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
It's never going
See,
the other way.
I'm really bad. I just throw it on there and I don't even care.
Super unacceptable.
I just don't care. I really don't care.
Incredibly unacceptable.
I throw it on there and then I forget about it. And then I get yelled at. So
As you
when
should.
when it's the wrong way. So
Yeah, as you should. That's insane.
It's
Yeah,
not.
exactly. When it's the wrong
No,
way,
it's not.
there is a
No,
right
it's
way.
not.
There's 100% a right way
No,
of
it's
putting the
not.
toilet paper on there. Yes, there is.
Okay. Anyways,
Did
that's
you
all my questions.
Did you finish Dune yet? Actually,
Yeah,
did you watch the
good.
movie?
Solid. Yep. Watch the movie.
You liked
Solid.
it? I think
Yeah.
we talked about it.
We probably already talked about this, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty solid. The movie was a little like, if you haven't read the book, I feel like it would be confusing, but maybe it wasn't confusing to people. Because Aaron was like, I really enjoyed it. She said, I could tell it was like a precursor to the next movie, but I enjoyed it. But to me, I knew all of the like other details, obviously. I knew all the other small stuff. And so I was like, oh, this is how they're portraying this moment. This is how they're portraying this moment. Because in the book, there's a lot of inner dialogue that happens
Mhm.
compared to what you see on screen. So
Yeah, I mean they probably had to really compact a lot of it too.
definitely. I totally get that.
Because
And
they're
I
setting
don't and I don't even know how you display inner monologue except through facial expressions and just general like body language toward another person.
Yeah, it's like it's in anime. That's half the show is all
Yeah,
the time.
I
It's
know.
just
I know.
them standing there and they're just staring, and then there's a voice actor. You know what I'm talking about? Like that is
Well, and I've seen edits where they take out the inner monologue and only show the parts where they talk out loud, and it's like silent 80% of the time.
yeah. Some of them are worse than other ones. It's just the whole time. You got just they're standing there and the camera's spinning around them and it's just dialogue being said. That is anime. That's how I mean the first Dragon Ball was just nothing but that. Just like he's getting more powerful. He's getting stronger. He's in the next level. And that's 20 minutes of just nonsense. It's like, how did I watch that as a kid?
And you
Just
probably ate it up, man.
yeah,
You're
we
like,
used to
this
whenever
is
it was
my
on.
jam.
Yeah, just the glowing and the inner dialogues happening the entire time.
Okay, if you had to pick Disney, Cartoon Network, or Nickelodeon, go.
Back in the day,
Yeah, go.
it was always Cartoon Network.
Okay. I think I would be. Actually, no, I was more of a Cartoon Network kid.
Yeah,
That
we
was
go.
the one I would pick first, and then I would go to Nickelodeon, and then Disney Channel was sort of there sometimes.
Yeah, it was usually card. Yeah, that's exactly what are mine too. I wasn't much of a Disney. We didn't watch a lot of Disney.
Yeah,
Sometimes I turn on, but I
because I would
liked.
watch like Fairly Odd Parents and um, SpongeBob. These are probably all Nickelodeon shows, but anyways,
I
Ben
think SpongeBob
10.
is.
And did you ever watch Ben 10?
Mm-mm.
Dude,
I know what it is though.
love that show. I had my own like watch or what was it? Omnitrix? Anyways, I would like slam it and run around the backyard. You can imagine the only child Cole just running around alone, slamming my wrist and changing into different heroes.
Ben 10. I've never watched an episode, but I know what you're talking about.
It's just a kid who gets this like alien watch that can change him into different like forms.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
And there were 10 original forms that he could like transform into. And he would just go around fighting crime. But there were these aliens that were looking for this watch thing or Omnitrix, whatever it's called. And they came down and they were like hunting him.
It actually looked really cool. I just saw their little promo
it's
popped up.
sick, dude.
Yeah, that looked cool. I've never seen this before.
Well, and then they like revamped it recently. Still cartoon, but so
Omnitrix Part 3.
See, there we go. I got it right. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. And look, it actually does look pretty cool.
Told
I
you.
would have definitely been into this.
Told
It's
you,
right
man.
right up my alley. I guess I'll watch that later. I'm just kidding.
All right. You should. You should. It's worth it.
Sometimes.
All right. So that was another random question. It's your turn. I've asked too many things. Go.
I don't have much. We're gonna probably keep this one pretty short because I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm tired.
Oh my god, man.
Didn't sleep good last night. I ate food too late. Just not sleep right. Ask your fitness question. We're just gonna end this thing out of here.
Okay. So in my class, one of my classmates mentioned that he was formerly in the Marine Corps. And so what he used to do was he would run for most of his exercise after getting out of the Marine Corps. He would run because he was like, I just enjoy this. So that's solely what I'll do. And then he said, after some research, he found that weight training is the best form of training. And so he literally stopped everything else and is only weight training. What is your opinion on this? Is he right? Is he wrong? And he was also talking about the noise that surrounds the training conversation. And so maybe the second part to that question is like, what do you make of the noise in this space, like the fitness space and the workout space? And like, how would you suggest someone navigate through it? I know we've kind of talked about it, but like, what would be your opinion? So start with weight training versus any other kind of training.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to pick one, you're like, all right, you can only do.
Yeah, that's kind of my question, I guess.
Then you pick the weight training.
Yeah,
because you can still get cardiovascular output for like doing weight training. Like if you're doing more like circuit style, we're going to get your heart rate up a little bit, so you're getting some of those similar benefits. But there's just, if you had to make a list of the benefits in comparison of weight training versus the cardio, the list on the weightlifting is just going to have more benefits. Not just the cardio, but you're going to increase your metabolism a little bit. Metabolism, hypertrophy is going to be a little bit more there. There's just way more benefits. Bone density. Yeah, you go with if you had to pick or choose, you go with the weightlifting.
That makes sense. If you had to pair it, so weightlifting and one other thing, what would you pair it with? I think I know I'm gonna know your answer.
Weightlifting pair with
just anything, like another exercise that's completely different, another style of exercise that's different.
Sprints.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah. So the reason for the sprint is the answer. I saw Usain Bolt was talking about this, and they asked him, did you ever do like a mile or like longer distance running? He goes, no. It was never. He goes, no. He goes, the longest I'd ever run or sprint would be 800 meters. Now I know it's a little different in like talking about health.
Yeah, and like his sport too. I mean, that was what he trained for.
Yeah, but the sprinting, just if you can do it and you can swing it, it just had there's just so much going on. You're gonna get the cardio. You're gonna you can sprint long distances too, but then you're also having to slow your body down after that sprint, which is
So the deceleration is also important.
yeah, which if you do too much too quickly, then you're gonna have issues. But if you do it correctly, uh, it really does. It does have a ton of benefits. So sprinting, longer distance running is fine too, but once you get to a certain distance, I mean, there's arguments about how much pressure it's putting on your knees. So over
Oh, it's
time,
not good. It
yeah,
hurts.
over time, if it can be a little detrimental, but your body's pretty resilient as long as you know what you're doing and you're not going too hard. So sprinting,
Yeah,
yeah.
fair enough. Okay, that was part one, and then part two, he talked about the noise in the fitness space and how to wade your way through that kind of stuff. And I mean, you can plug your own stuff here, but what would you say to someone that's like just searching on TikTok or the internet? Or, I mean, how do you even know what is worth listening to?
Know it's worth listening to, or how to
Yeah,
get into it.
both. I guess both. You know,
Uh, I mean, that's incredibly tricky. There's some people I think
this is
for
a
them.
plug for his own stuff. So go to the whatever channel, the Edge Sports Performance.
Yeah, it's all
Listen to his
edge
stuff.
across the board. I would say it can be tricky. There are certain people that I think you can really really listen to. One of them is a guy named Jeff Nippard. He's on YouTube, and he's got a bunch of great stuff. A lot of his stuff is also he'll have the research in the cat like in the description, and he
Hmm.
breaks down studies, and he's really thorough, and he does a really great job. And he's never trying to promote anything. He is the guy. Like I would say,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if there's one guy that you should listen to or is a good outlet for broader topics or specific ones, Jeff Nippard is the guy. He's great. But other than that, it can be. I mean, yeah, you've got so much out there of this. This works. This doesn't work. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I feel like there's a lot out there, so it's just kind of tough for people who are trying to research, you know?
Yeah, I mean, even you have sometimes you'll even have someone that's in a higher prestige or job, and they're telling you something that most people actually wouldn't agree with, but it's like, oh, they had this job,
Yeah.
and
And
it's like,
and they might have a platform already, you know, an
yeah,
audience, and so when they're saying something against the grain, how do you really know?
yeah. I mean, there's actually a guy on YouTube. I won't say who it is. He's got a pretty good YouTube channel, and I've gone down the rabbit hole of looking at a lot of his stuff just to see like inspire some content creation for what I was going to do. And there'll be sometimes in a video he'll say one thing, and
Yeah.
then later on he does a whole other video that's the
Mm,
opposite of what he has already said. And it's just, and I'm some of it
that's frustrating.
I think he's really just trying to get clicks. And he has great content, not to take away from him, but then it just goes down what you're asking me. What do you trust? And
Yeah.
it'll be like
Dang, man.
it'll be like for example, I mean this one just happened the other day. He'll be like, all right, athletes shouldn't barbell bench press because of blah 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 blah. They should be doing this instead and this instead, which is fine. The other stuff he's talking about is beneficial.
Mhm.
And then he just posted a video recently about how beneficial the barbell bench press is, and everyone should be doing it. It's like, this is conflicting information that you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely sounds like a shock factor, controversial take to throw in a video to kind of keep up the clicks.
Yeah, 100% on
Yeah.
that. And again, I mean, he has a big platform.
Yeah,
Jeff
yeah, yeah.
Jeff never does that. At least I've never seen him. Go check out Jeff. He's really good. Yeah, it's tricky. And then you also I've even seen, this is terrible. This goes down the conversation of, I'll even say it. Calipari with UK. We're going back to basketball. Sorry.
We're going back
Calipari
to basketball, baby.
Calipari with UK basketball. They're not doing so hot with really really good talent. And then you look at Louisville, and they just fired the one guy, and they're paying him a
Yeah,
ton of
he
money
was
now.
terrible. So
And then you got Pat coming in, and if you look at coaches, for example, and I'm going to rag on Calipari a little bit.
Go for it.
How good of a coach is he in comparison to how well does he just recruit kids in the prestige that he's been in? And people look at him because of his placement. I'm like, oh, he's got to be a good coach. Well, how good is he? And this is the question I asked from that too, is when you become a coach at that level, do you just get the job because of your stats of what you've won at a certain level and you keep leveling up? And how often did someone go watch Calipari coach before they hired him to be a coach? Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm. From my very, very uninformed perspective about his coaching, because I have no idea what his style is, I can only talk about the results that I see. It feels like he was really in tune and understanding of the game early on in his career, and he did a lot of things coaching wise that helped him build success and team success and whatever. Then he started getting a lot of talent, right? And so some years that talent would work out. I'm talking specifically now his tenure at UK. Some years that talent would work out and they'd be very successful tournament wise and in college. And then those players would go on and be successful at the NBA level. Now, and again, I have no basis for this. So like, this is totally conjecture, opinion. I feel like his coaching hasn't evolved and he's utilizing the fact that he can recruit good talent to, one, keep him a job, and two, keep recruiting good talent. Because he goes, look at my guys in the NBA. Yeah. You want to be, because I assume his goal is, I'm going to change these people's lives and give them generational wealth and put them in the next level. And if they're successful in college or not, whatever, I don't care. As long as I can change this kid's life. And that's how he recruits. He says, I can get you signed to a team making millions of dollars if you come here. Yeah. And so who cares if they lose in the first round? They don't care. They're there to get
Big Blue Nation cares.
Yeah, well, and that's what's happening the last 6-7 years, maybe 8 years, where his goal, again, just a guess, is I'm going to get these kids to the next level. Kentucky's goal is like, well, we haven't been good in a minute. Can we like not be bad anymore, please? Yeah. And Calipari, again, opinion, is like, well, I'd rather just get these kids to a life-changing opportunity.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. And then you have the dynamic of a coach with their team. Look at like the dynamic of the coach and the team in the sense of like an older coach that's been in the game for a period of time and how their kid, an athlete, can kind of like actually have a conversation, a relationship with him. So a good example would be if you had if I'm your coach, I'm about to be 32. If I'm your coach versus someone that's like 50 or 60, an athlete that's 18 or 20, they can kind of relate easier with that person. So then not that they're going to question their coaching, but you can create a different dynamic. Now that Calipari's gotten a bit older, and not just him specifically, you look at the Louisville coach, he's a little bit younger. He's got more energy. He's going to probably do a little bit better because of that. And we're completely just going on tangents now, but going back to my initial topic was when I get hired onto anything, okay, let's say, or someone's sending me their athlete, they very rarely, unless I do a tryout, no one comes in and watches me coach. Mm-hmm. They just look at, okay, here's the website. I know this person told me that he can do this.
Yeah.
And how often does it happen? Yeah. How often does it happen at the collegiate level or the professional level where someone's like, oh, let's go watch them. What can they actually do? They don't.
That's totally fair. I'd be interested to know more about
not just games, practices. That's the big one. It's like, what are you guys doing in practice? Mm-hmm. Does someone drive out there? All right, that's it.
That's all we got. It's a basketball podcast now. We should rebrand. Let's change the name.
Yeah, I need to do a whole new logo.
That sounds great. Hopefully you enjoyed the Jeopardy at the beginning. Please tell me how many questions you got right so that I feel either better or worse about myself, okay?
Yeah, I was terrible at that.
Anyway,
so bad. Hopefully this audio
see you in 2 weeks. Go watch the game. You probably already haven't seen it because this comes out next week. All right. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Have a wonderful day.